Time away. Hey, hey. I was passing my time away. My name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice. Coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q. And what happened? What happened to the weather? I was here yesterday. It was 55 degrees when I got here. Mamma mia, mamma mia. 55 degrees was a beautiful day, and now we got this weather. It's partly snowing out here. It's 30 degrees. Just wacky, this weather, but you know what? This is what the rodent told us. He said 6 more weeks of winter, so we got another at least week to go, and then we might get some relief once and for all from all this. We had a couple nice days, got a little bit spoiled, and now we're back to the regular March type of weather. But it's not going to hang around. It can't hang around. Clocks go ahead this weekend. We get a little bit more daylight every day. And eventually, it's going to flip over our way. That's all we need. That's all we need. Just that relief. We're into the right part of the year here, and away we go. So I'm sitting here going, geez, like what I so much going on all over the place. So I thought, okay, let's get in here. Let's trudge through the snow. I was going to do it from my Video Sign Incorporated studio today, but I thought it's not that bad yet. Not that bad yet. But let's talk to our sponsors first. Let's talk about our sponsors. We'll talk to them too. They're great people. I love talking to my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. So here we go. We thought we were all set. We didn't have to worry about it. Take those winter tires off and everything else. But I don't know. Maybe you're going to second think that one. But you still got to get your car in, get it checked out, make sure your brakes are going. And a nice little brake service wouldn't be bad. You know, that's when they go in there and lube everything up. Make sure everything's moving and working right after the winter, the cold temperatures. And you know what? When you do that, you know what happens, right? When you do that, you're not going to have a huge brake job to do with a seized rotor or anything. Plus, Wild Bill's, Ken's going to throw your car on his diagnostic equipment, tell you if there's any error codes. Set you all up. Make sure your car is running tip-top as you get into the summer here. Now, if you're getting a wreck, don't worry about it. Take it to Ken. He's got a full body shop there. Get your car in. He'll get your car out in showroom condition. You're going to be happy. I'm going to be happy. Everybody's going to be happy. And at the end of the day, you're going to thank yourself for being proactive and not standing on the side of the road broke down. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. And you can go to wildbillsauto.ca. See everything they do. Make your appointment. Take care of your car, and it will take care of you. And while you're at it, look down here somewhere. Down there. This side over here. The subscribe button. Come on. There's a lot of people who watch the show. They just don't subscribe, and it costs nothing to subscribe. And you help to get this show out there. The algorithms and all that other crap that they use to broadcast shows. It helps out the show. The more people we get signed up, the better. The more people that are involved, the better. Let's go. We got an election coming up very soon. I read this Carney, and that's a good name for him. He should be working in a carnival. He's going to be having an election maybe in March or something. I don't know. They're going to call it early, maybe May, April. So we got to get ready. We got to get together. We got to fight for Canada and get rid of these bums that are running the country now. That's why you watch the show. That's why you watch the show. Okay, so not a lot of Facebook funnies today. I've been gassing people like crazy because they're wacky. And they say, what are you gassing people for? Yeah, you're going to gas your friends? I go, yeah, because I want to stay friends with them. The spring cleaning, baby. It's spring cleaning. The woke are going. I'm giving them the Zelenskied treatment. They're getting Zelenskied. Hey, that reminds me of a joke I made up. I made this up. What's the difference between Bill Clinton and Al Green? And if you don't know who Al Green is, he's the guy who got up in the Congress and they threw him out. Bill Clinton got Lewinsky. Al Green got Zelenskied. That's the difference between the two. One got Lewinsky, the other one got Zelenskied. Okay, so speaking of that, no Facebook funnies really. Maybe one day people will realize that Trump's not true right 99% of the time, and he does something. And we'll talk about that later because he's doing a lot of stuff. We'll talk about him later. Viewer comments. Got some new commenters. Welcome to the show, everybody who's new. Welcome to the show. We appreciate it. And I don't know what your names are because they're all, they give you the at and stuff and you don't know who they are, but welcome to the show. I love your comments. Keep them coming. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. From Monday's show, at Lord Misanthrope 1949. Not sure who that is. Niagara's losing events because politicians are so busy in providing entertainment instead of creating jobs and creating wealth. Nobody can spend money having minimum wage jobs while stuck with high taxes, high utility costs, high rent, and high cost of living. Bam! You're right. If people had good paying jobs, it'd be easier to have these events. And he's talking about Ribfest. That's what we were talking about on Monday. And you know what? They're at Lord Misanthrope 1949. You're right. All good points. The only good jobs appear to be at City Hall anymore. Thanks for the comment. Welcome to the show. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I look forward to your input in the future. Yeah, and they're saying about financials, but I was thinking more about what Iceman 69 said about how much money came in, where'd the money go, and who got it. And you got to wonder, this thing ran for a long time, very successful. I know they get good crowds there. Could it be the money was just mismanaged? The whole thing wasn't run right. So John's funny, but at the end of the day, he did ask the questions, and I have no answers for those. Of course, I don't know, but they are valid questions. The more I think about it, I'm just wondering if you open the books, which we won't get to see, that's Rotary Club business. But if you open the books, is there a problem with managing the money they get in? They just don't know how to do it. They just, the bad money managers, maybe the new president, I don't know. But there's definitely a problem because they get big crowds. Everybody loves it. And Councillor Dabrowski said he's going to go in there and see if he can take it over and give it mouth to mouth and revive it. So Tuesday's show, the Iceman 69. When I mentioned Ribfest, when I said we need more info, I said we need more info, not you need more info. It's not always about you. But Chris will come up with a plan that will involve taxpayers for sure. Yeah, well, it's not that it was about me. It's that when you put a comment on my video, the video I have there, and you're asking these questions, unless you say this, we need this information, like I would say, well, I don't know. How do I know? I don't have that information. So that's why, no, it's not about me. The show's not about me. I just sit here and tell you stuff and give my opinion on it. It's a commentary show. I'm not an investigative journalist. I just give you my opinion. So, yeah, no, it's not about me. If I think they're questions you're looking to me for an answer for, I'm gonna make it about me. But of course, Iceman thinks that taxpayers were beyond the hook for the Ribfest if Chris is involved. And Iceman, you may not be too far off the mark. You may not be too far off the mark in this one. From Tuesday's show at Penny Brookify, it's hard for me to understand how the church maintains any relevance at all in 2025. So I was talking about it being the holiest time of year now. Ash Wednesday was yesterday. Fat Tuesday was on Tuesday. We're into the Lenten season, the holiest of seasons for the Catholic Church and other Christians. And so that's what she's commenting on. Let me clarify. I don't wish to criticize Catholicism alone. I believe all religions are equally archaic, wrong, silly, etc. But the ones that specify only males can lead them seem all the more foolish to my sensibilities. I understand my atheism really pisses folk off. The world is not ready for it, but if the Pope dying causes you distress, you have my sympathies. Well, that's the beauty of religion. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe. You don't have to believe anything if you don't want. Nobody's forcing you. Some people are Christians. They believe in God. They believe in Jesus Christ, and but they don't believe in the organization part of religion, the church. So this is something that's personal. You believe what you want. Some people find relief in that. Some people find comfort in knowing there's somewhere that you go after, and there's a better place for you in that. Others don't. They don't need it. But either way, I mean, the laws of the land are basically based on the Ten Commandments: "Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do this, you know what I mean?" So whether you believe in it or not, it's a good thing that we believe in the tenets of it, the goodness of it. And most people run their lives by the Ten Commandments. Those who don't are in jail. Well, not in Canada. They get released on the street. There is no such thing as jail for anybody. But the laws of the land are based on them. So I think most people believe in something, even if it's only the law, to be good, to be a good human being. So I get you, Penny Brookify. I get you. I understand. The Pope dying doesn't matter to me. I don't know. I think he's a crook anyway. So, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in other stuff, right? It's a Lemire thing. See, you wouldn't understand. Okay, thanks for the comments, everybody. That was all. There's not that many comments, believe it or not. Thanks for the comments, and thanks so much for tuning into the show. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe, like I said, and you'll be notified when I post a new show on YouTube. And keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. Tomorrow, we might have some comments from today's show. If not, I'll read most of the comments on Manic Monday when we get to Monday's show. I'm going through the review. I got the online version of the review because I like reading Ray Spiteri and Allison Langley and John Law. And the articles they write, they're very good writers, and they really keep everybody informed. If you don't get a version of the review, you might want to. I don't know. I know a lot of people say it's a rag, but they do have stories about things that are going on. But man, I think the announcements by Trump about tariffs are taking up everything. And the speech by Trudeau was totally embarrassing. I'll talk about that later. So to find anything in the review outside of that realm is tough these days. It's sucking all the life out of the news, man. That's all people are talking about. But there was a good article in the review about the increase in graffiti in the city. And they're starting to paint everything. These guys are going around painting even the signs on the 420. They're painting them. They're hanging over and painting them. And a lot of the street art they call it, but it's really not art. A lot of them are just putting a signature on there, so people know who they are. They all have their own signature, and they all know who each other is. It's become a contest or something like that. But if you want to know what's going on with that, 9 times out of 10, you look to city council. I mean, when your city looks like a dump, then you're going to get people who treat it like a dump. And that's it. And, like these vandals, they're really just spraying everything like cats in heat. Even the highway signs. Why do I look to city council a little bit for it? Because this kind of escalation is a sign of a degrading city. The city going into the dumpster. The city's embarrassing, and the graffiti guys just say, hey, why keep it beautiful, right? Let's just hammer it up with this spray. It's a ghetto anyway. What do we care? And you go back to Rudy Giuliani's broken window theory. You let one window go broken. You let one of these businesses go, and you don't fix up the building, and you leave it vacant for years. And it's a blight with boarded up windows and that. It looks crappy. Well, what do you think these guys are going to do? They're going to start spraying it and doing anything else. Nobody takes it off. Like, why bother? There's no business there or anything anyway. And then you got a bunch of them looking like that. Once you break one window in an old building with a rock and nobody does anything about it, well, the next guy comes up and breaks the next one. And before you know it, they're all broken. And it looks even worse than it did. That was Rudy Giuliani's theory. So what he did is the first guy who would break a window, he arrested him and threw him in jail. And the other guy's got the idea that, hey, I'm not going to break any more windows because I'm going to jail too. So when you catch these guys spraying these signs, you got to arrest them and throw them away. But you know what's going to happen? They're gonna charge with mischief or something, even though it costs $1,000 to $2,000 to clean everything up. You know, they got to close one lane of the 420, get a truck up there with a cherry picker and a guy up there spraying crap on it to wipe the sign off. You know, costs money to do all this to get rid of it. And it's the same thing. You let one go, then the next one goes. Then there's one on a building, and then one on here, one on there, one on another side, one on overpasses. You know, before you know it, our beautiful Lundy's Lane monument has the guy sprayed with red up there or something. It's just the way it is. You got to put a stop to it right away. And the worse the city looks, the less respect people have for it. The less respect people have for it, the more they do this kind of crap. You know, and then of course city officials with their answer is, well, let's give them a place to go and do their artwork, like in the alley down here, where the Daredevil alley or whatever. You know, that's not what they want. They want to be all over the city, and their signatures are being seen by everybody. It's a competition. It's like a source of pride that they went up and got up to this sign and spray painted it with their signature on it. All these things you see are signatures from somebody. We'll give them a safe spot. They don't care about that. It doesn't matter. All you're doing is letting them practice for the bigger things. They couldn't care less about it. You know, so that's the way it works. Now, the Penguin isn't worried about the graffiti. He's worried about the safety of those doing the painting. We don't care if you spray up every building in Niagara Falls. Just be safe. Be safe doing it, please. You know, it's like a guy robs you, grabs your wallet, robs you at gunpoint. He runs away and he trips and falls down and breaks his leg while he's running away from you. And the cops let him go because they feel sorry for him. He broke his leg. Meanwhile, you just got robbed. What's the matter with these people? Who cares? This guy's up there hanging off the bridge to paint that sign. He falls on the QEW and gets hit by a transport truck. Hey, one less guy to do that. Who gives a care about that? I should have worn my rat's ass shirt. I wore the Lemire one because they fall and hurt themselves. Who cares? It's not my problem. Penguin's worried about them. You should be worried about them spraying everything. And then in the budget, there's $200,000 to clean signs, and taxpayers got to shell out the money. What about worrying about that part of it? But it's the decay of the city. Now think about it. You drive into another city and you start driving and you get into the city and you see all this graffiti. You know where you are. You know what part of town you got into. And it doesn't feel good. You want to get out of it as fast as you can. I mean, some argue that it's a form of creative expression. And I will admit some of these guys who are doing this are good at what they do. You sit there and watch these 20-minute trains go by and you watch the graffiti and the art on the train cars. But it's vandalism. That's what it is. It's vandalism, no matter how you sugarcoat it. And it's a big mess and looks terrible. Right? I mean, yeah, they call themselves artists, but I call them vandals. And they have to be punished for it. Or else they're just going to keep doing it. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. These things don't cure themselves. They get better. No, they get worse. So somebody decides they're going to throw them in the slammer for it, and then it gets better because they don't want to go to jail. Oh, but anyway, we need to make Niagara Falls beautiful again. Make Niagara Falls beautiful again. And that can only happen with a council that cares about these little things. Roads, weed, trash, graffiti. Yeah, it takes money and the will to quit spending it on other things that they don't need. Stupid things like a $25,000 concrete ping pong table. But, the city has to beautify the city. They can't leave it looking like the meteor crater and in the summer the weeds growing all over. You let the city look like that, and then you're going to get people who don't care, and they will start spraying up the city and ruining other stuff. It's just the way it works. And when they do that, taxpayers have to pick up the tab Because, like I say, it's between $1,000 and $2,000 to have a large piece of graffiti removed from a building, from the bricks of a building, or anywhere else. It costs either the taxpayers or it costs the business owner. And at the end of the day, if he keeps having it happen, he's got to raise his business and the cost of stuff to cover it. I mean, it all filters down and trickles down to the end user, me and you. Thanks to Reese Pateri for the great article in the review, and hopefully they catch these guys and stop it because, yeah, we don't need that in our city. We don't need a big mess like that here. Oh, speaking of a big mess, what about the roads in this city? Has anybody traveled these roads? I mean, the jawbreaker is one thing, but I went down yesterday. There was a long line to the stoplight on Valley Way, headed towards Drummond Road. So I wanted to get on the QEW. So instead of going down there and waiting for this traffic to clear, I just went through Brymont Parkway, a little shortcut to get to the entrance to the QEW. And I thought the jawbreaker was bad. I took a side trip down this Brymont Parkway. It runs parallel to Valleyway and through a nice little neighborhood and empties into the entrance for the 420. Talk about a bombed out disaster. Man, there are potholes that make this road almost impassable. I can't believe it. The jawbreaker is bad. And it may have this little road beat for length of how bad the road is from the railway tracks right to Five Corners. But I'm going to tell you, this little road here, you go down there in your car unsuspecting, say at night when you don't see anything, and you're in for a shock. You're going to break something. You'll break a tie rod end or something. You'll be going to see Ken and the Wild Bills to get an alignment. I don't know how long this road has been like that. How long did it have to be neglected to get into that condition? And I can't believe the residents aren't calling city council and saying, hey, get your guys down here and fix this. But you know what? That's just a little road nobody goes down. I mean, I just happen to go down there. I can't even imagine the number of roads that are like this in town. I mean, we know there's a lot, but geez, that's crazy. We always win the worst roads contest. We always do Niagara Falls. We have the worst roads. But we have the most money. Where's the money? For some reason, we have no money to fix these roads, but we have the most money coming in. I mean, we got 20 million freebie every year, but our roads are no better than anywhere else. And some of them are even worse, and they're getting worse as we go along. It's not getting better. I mean, the jawbreaker has been like that for 5 years now. So Eric Idle, the city general manager of municipal works, says, it's the weather, stupid. Those temperatures in winter cause the problem. Yes, Mr. Idle. And they have been for 1,000 years. Where have you been? Of course, he mentions the online pothole reporting portal you can report potholes to. But it's like they're treating that like a contest or something. Let's see how many reports we can get this month. And they're doing a good job. As of now, there are 800 pothole requests year to date. That's like 200 a month, 50 a week, 7 a day. And now they're upping the ante to get 100 reports a day. Maybe the graffiti guys should go and fill them in and spray paint them and put some other thing in there so that it looks nicer. You see, Mr. Idle, filling those potholes is a waste of money. In a week, they're filled, and the fill comes out. In a week, they're gone. The traffic kicks all that crap out. It's a never-ending battle. You got to get out there, dig up the section, and replace it with new asphalt. If the road is the jawbreaker or Brymont Parkway, I mean, the whole thing has to be replaced. You got to kick up a mill to fix it. Yeah, like I don't even think you can mill these roads. They're so bad. I mean, they got to be tore right up and a new base put down and everything else. They're going to be the same. I don't get it. I don't get it. How the roads get that bad? You know, and somebody was in there. What about if you hit that and you break your car? Well, you're screwed. You're screwed. I hit one. Cost me $500 for a new tire, alignment, balance, and everything else, right? And I put the claim into this insurance from the city, and you don't talk to anybody on the city, and they have no say. The insurance adjuster looks at it, I mean, take pictures. I took pictures. I sent it all in. I gave them the whole story, and didn't matter. They just said no, no, no. We're not paying it. So you can waste your time doing it. I did. I mean, I got a big no, and that's the way it is in Niagara Falls. You're on your own if your car's damaged. But in Welland, they don't have a problem with this. They're using AI to detect and deal with potholes before they become a major problem. How is Welland able to do this and we can't? And if somebody gets hurt in a pothole, yeah, you fall into it, you'd probably break your ankle. They have doctors to deal with it. They've hired 13 doctors, this new doctors. There's doctors in Welland to deal with this kind of stuff. You get it in Niagara Falls, you're going to be searching for a doctor for who knows how long. Or you can go to the emergency department and wait 12 hours. Oh my God. It's crazy. Welland. I don't know how they do it. They somehow got it doing. Hey, how about this? The city's in a mess with potholes and they just can't seem to fix them. So why don't they do this? Start a program where you are responsible for the potholes in front of your house, much like the sidewalk shoveling program. How about that? You go out there, you go to the Home Depot, get a bag of that quick fill. You go out there, you patch them up and fill them, take care of the road. Yeah, yeah, that would work. No? Don't you think so? We take care of the sidewalks. Now we have to. It's a bylaw. Why not take care of the road? There's a pothole. You'll fix it. You go and fix it. In front of your road. Not, you get a bylaw comes down and finds you. Now, somebody just told me to shut the hell up. Shut up. They might hear you and pass this bylaw next meeting. And you know what? Nothing would surprise me with this council. The city with the most money is the city with the worst roads. Go figure. But we do have that $25,000 concrete ping pong table coming soon. Maybe they should drop it in one of these potholes and help fix it up. Thanks to Race Pateri for the great article. And yeah, that's what we face in Niagara Falls. Over to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza. Listen, I love pizza. I have pizza as much as I can. I just love it. And when I get a pizza, I get it from Pete's Pizza. Why? Because they're consistent. The pizzas are great all the time. Mike over there at Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue uses the Mancini family recipe for their sauce, for the crust. It's fantastic. He puts on a good blend of mozzarella and brick cheese on the pizza. Fresh ingredients, hot to your door. How can you beat that? And they're not one-trick pony. Wings, panzerotti, poutine. They've got a menu that folds out like this. You're not going to be disappointed when you talk to Victoria Avenue Pete's Pizza. I'll tell you that right now. You're going to find something you like. Open till 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday. For your convenience. I don't think you can beat it. Seriously, it's a seriously good pizza. 905-374-2222. You want to call in your order. If you want to go to the website, petespizzavictoria.ca, you can order off the website, see the menu, or you skip or all those other ones. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Support our sponsors because they support the city. Get yourself a nice triangle. Is that a triangle? Does that look like a triangle? A nice triangle of pizza today. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. They haven't scammed enough of our money. No, we're getting scammed every minute of every day, of course, right? There's more to come. Remember that hospital we put $30 million of taxpayer money away for? And the one that Niagara Falls is probably into for about $70 million when it's all said and done. I think John Ringo Beam said closer to $70 million. I'm not sure exactly what the number is. I know they got $30 million sitting, and we put $11 million in the property, and we put another $10 or $12 million into the infrastructure. So we're probably closing in on around 50, 60, 70 million. I can't count everything. Remember that one? Well, they're telling you right now. Sit back and I'll tell you a tale. A tale of a fateful trip down Montrose Road. And you know what? They're looking for more. And they found the perfect way to pick your pocket. Who thinks of these? I think they hired people at City Hall just to think of how they can squeeze more money out of every taxpayer. I got to wonder if that's what that new planning position is. Planning how to take more money. But here we go. Sit back. 2 days after the tariff announcement, they're already sending SOSs out to you to let you know that construction costs for the new hospital could soar because of the tariffs. It's going to soar. You know what? Every time the cost soars, your butt gets sore because they're giving it to you. That's right. Oh, so it means that our costs in this bargain are going to soar along with it. Hey, what happened to buy Canadian? Can't these guys buy Canadian? Whatever they're getting from the States for the hospital, get it from Canada. Oh, well, Canada doesn't produce anything. I forgot about that. Of course, the experts are monitoring the situation. We're monitoring the situation right now, which means they're monitoring how much more they think they can get from you without you crying a lot. You know it's going to hurt. You're going to need a hospital after they finish with you. They do that wallop biopsy. Yeah. And the next council budget's going to be another catch-up budget that never seems to catch up. Now you watch when they bring out this next budget because of these tips. Oh, our costs went up dramatically. We gotta do another catch-up budget of 8% next year. 8%. Inflation. Catch up. We gotta catch up. But they never catch up. You know, that's just they might as well use the word that Heinz uses, catch up, because they never catch up. They never catch up. Right? So you can see what's going on here. You don't have to be a genius. You can read the writing on the wall, much like COVID. When these companies can rifle your wallet, any excuse they will. Oh, gas is going up because there was a typhoon in the Middle East. Yeah, sure. It was a drought down somewhere. What does a drought have to do with oil? But there's a drought. Oh, there's a hurricane in the Gulf. It never ends. This is just another excuse now. They're going to jump everything on you. Believe me, I would probably say they're going to be looking for another 20 or 30 million. Maybe more. John Ringo Beam, what do you think? Give me your thoughts. You know a lot about this. Oh, yeah, they're going to wait till they get the pricing on equipment that we get from the States. Oh, yeah, these beds and these machines, MRI machines and everything else. Oh, yeah, we don't make them in Canada. Oh, 25% tariff on a $2 million item. 2 times 2.25, 1/4 of 2 million divided by. Okay, I figure that's about like about $500,000. Yeah, so now it's 2.5 million, and then they got to put on the government handling fee, which brings it up to 5 million, doubles the price. Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for nothing, because that's what's going to happen. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. Why even try to candy coat it here? It's when they say that it's going to hurt. The tariff won't hurt you, but what they do with it is going to hurt you. Not the tariff itself. Forget about the tariff. That's pocket change. But what they do with the tariff, when it's all said and done, that's what's going to hurt you, because they're going to use it to hammer you. Oh man, did anybody watch that Trudeau speech? It was pretty embarrassing for this goofball to stand up there like that. Big bad Americans are hurting poor Canadians. Poor Canada. Poor Canada was the theme. Well, la petite patate. Hey, guess what? Canadians got to grow up. This is a nasty world. That's it, right? The parents are cutting off the freebies and forcing you to be an adult and take care of yourself instead of depending on them. Parents being the United States of America. It's a grow up moment for Canada. And Trudeau's poor Canadians, poor. Us poor Canadians, well, we're not taking it. We're gonna put on tariffs that equal whatever they put on us. And Trump, being the grown up in the room, says, "Oh, okay, go ahead. Whatever you put on, we're just gonna up ours by the same amount. So we just raised you 25 more percent. Now you're gonna call or you gonna fold? What are you gonna do? You called the first one. Now we're gonna raise you 25%. You gonna call? You gonna fold? So, and you add another 25, you go to 75. I mean, it's not going to end. It's not going to end. Oh my goodness. Canada, you got to get your act together. And I said this a long time ago. Like if we're buying $35 million a copy planes from the United States, why don't we make our own? Why don't we just make our own? We had a great air industry, aviation industry. The Avro Aero was so far ahead of its competition before Diefenbaker canceled it that it was a joke. We were the leaders, and we just let this country go ever since Pierre Elliott Trudeau. Diefenbaker canceled that. That was the end of our aeronautics, and everybody went to NASA to put rockets on the moon and stuff. And they left Canada because there was nothing here for them after he canceled that. Why can't we get that going again? Put people to work in really good jobs, creating airplanes. We have the people, we have the skill, we have the talent, we have the people here that can do it. Why don't we build our own and sell them on the world market? Why don't we start our own industries here to do that? The feds can do that instead of giving all these guys who they're saying, oh my God, people are going to be laid off because of the tariffs and everything else, and we're going to have to give them unemployment. We're going to make special rules for unemployment to take care of them. No, don't make special rules for them. Give them a job. Say, okay, that Avro plant up in Toronto, we're going to open it up again. We're going to start making planes. We need fighter planes, right? Start making them. And the shipbuilders that we have that are almost defunct. Oh, we're going to start building ships again. Put people to work. Good paying jobs. Why don't we do that? They'll be paying taxes. They'll have good paying jobs. You're going to solve a lot of the problems. Why don't we do that? His speech is embarrassing. We're gonna get people. Don't worry, we're gonna cover you. We're gonna, did you see that in COVID? They laid everybody off. He made people force them to quit their jobs because if they weren't vaccinated, they couldn't work. And then he started giving them $2,000 a month, and it broke the country. I mean, we're $1.5 trillion in debt. I mean, this country's a mess. Seriously, the best thing for this country right now is just to join the United States. We're a mess. These guys aren't helping any. So why don't they do something like that? Start building planes and ships. We need them. Everybody needs them. We're buying them for $35 million a copy. Take that $35 million and put it into a new plan and build our own. What about that? Anybody ever think of that? I never hear it from the government. I need John Ringo Beam in here. He comes up with these kind of ideas. This one, I didn't get from him. I thought about this a long time ago. We have the talent. We have the facilities. Let's start up our aviation industry again and get that going. Put people to work. I mean, Diefenbaker canceled the Avro Aero, and it's too bad. February 20th, 1959 was the fateful day, and this day became known as Black Friday. And the Canadian aviation industry died that day. Talent jumped to the States. We have, got to start it up again. We got the people. And any of the avionics and that we don't make here, we can get from other places. That's not a problem. So we can make our own or just keep getting it from somewhere. Instead of crying about tariffs, Canada should be looking inward to fill the gaps we may lose. Aluminum and steel are needed to build planes and ships. Avionics, technology, computer chips, all those are needed in Canada. Power, oil, nickel, silver, and gold are needed to produce these items. And Canadians need good paying jobs. Which would they would have if they revved up this production again. I mean, Trump and his tariffs could be the best thing that ever happened to Canada, or the worst thing. It depends on what our leaders do. It could be the best. It could also be the worst. What are our leaders going to do? I don't see any of them having any big ideas. Their ideas to put more tariffs on and take booze off shelves. I mean, what kind of these guys are bacha galoops. I'm telling you, they're dummies. They're really dumb. I mean, should be the time of us looking inward and trying to build our country back to where it was before we started depending on China and the United States. Now's the time to do it. It's not the time to be putting more tariffs on U.S. goods and trying to fight a war with them. Hey, we don't have a war. Let's take away interprovincial trade barriers. Let's build our own equipment so we don't have to reach out to them. Let's become independent again like we were at one point. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, if we don't do that, we're just going to go to the United States anyway. It doesn't matter. I mean, instead of sitting here, let's take up the challenge. Let's build Canada and quit crying in the pablum and threatening everybody. Canadians can only depend on Canada. Can't depend on anybody else. Never could. I mean, you take the easy way out, become the 51st state if you want. I mean, and if you don't do anything like Trudeau's doing right now, we're going to become that anyway. We're going to go so far south that we're going to need them to prop us up. Can't protect our borders. We have no military to speak of. We're peacekeepers. We go in and keep the peace. So let's shore up our own. Come on, let's go. Man, nobody looks in the future around here. That's the problem. Nobody looking down the road like Elon Musk's or anything. You know, anybody who's like that goes to the States because there's no opportunity here in Canada. They go to the States and do that kind of stuff. Think about it. Trump is doing us a favor if we treat it right. But we have to treat it right. We have to have strong leaders who have a vision for Canada. What are we going to make Canada? Where are we going to go with Canada? I mean, it's great to sit there and I'm not going to the States anymore, and I'm not going to Buffalo Sabres games. I'm not going over the border. That's not what we need. That doesn't do anything. But building our own industries back would, and starting with the avionics and shipbuilding, which will trickle down into steel and aluminum and avionics and chips and everything else we need, technology. We use nickel and gold and silver to build all this stuff. Hey, is there anybody out there that can look down the road and do it besides John Ringo Beam? He seems to be the only guy. Oh my God! PP. You think he's gonna do this? Nah, he's back in Ukraine. He's flying his flag and got the tattoo probably and everything. I mean, it's forget about that because that Trump wants it to end and Putin wants it to end, so it's gonna end. Guys in Europe and all that, they're irrelevant. They don't matter. Trump wants nothing to do with those bums. They've double-crossed the United States too many times now. So basically, at the end of the day, the blowout between the cocaine cowboy and Trump really meant nothing. Trump handled the little double-crosser perfectly, threw him out, and now he's back wanting to make a deal. But not so fast, little dictator. Maybe we don't want to deal with you or Europe, for that matter. You see, Trump's sick of the backstabbing in Europe. They've done it to the United States for years. And, they take everything and give nothing in return. He doesn't want a war with Russia. Trump is the last guy that wants a war with Russia. His whole thing for his 4 years from 2016 to 20, in the start of his term now, he said, I don't want a war with Russia. We don't want to go to war. I mean, Europeans are looking for a war. And Trump knows it's bad for business. I mean, the Gabriella, I think her name is Gabriella Maloney, the Prime Minister of Italy, she said, no, I'm not sending my troops into the Ukraine. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. You guys nuts or what? Trump would rather get along, and he'd like to be involved with Nord Stream 2, opening that up. He'd like to get minerals and goods from Asia, including Russia and China, but you can't do that where you're lobbing nuclear missiles at each other. It doesn't work. He wants to put an end to it all. He wants to put an end to it all. Hungary and Italy say no. They don't want nothing to do with it. If the other countries in Europe would say no, that'd be great. But now they all band together and they're all after Russia. Putin, Putin, Putin. But like they've got this puppet, the cocaine cowboy, running Ukraine, and yeah. So Trump is out. He's going to get out of NATO. So you guys do it by yourself. I'm not getting sucked into a war because once you sign that thing with NATO, if they go in, if one goes in, all of them go in, and Trump's not getting sucked into that. He don't want to go to war with Russia, so he's not getting into a war with Russia, and possibly on the back end of that, China. He's protecting the U.S. And he believe me, him and Elon got stuff under control here, and he's going to protect the U.S. from attacks with Space Force in an Iron Dome. I don't think he's thinking about missiles like in the Iron Dome in Israel. He's thinking about space, but he wants to work it out. He wants to work it out with the Russians. He wants to work it out. He don't want to fight it with them. And the right wing heads are going to explode. I know that. Trump loves Putin. All these memes with him and Putin hugging each other. He's a communist, blah, blah, blah. No. Trump loves peace and Trump loves business. He's not a communist. He's always believed in that, and he keeps saying it. He wants to get along, not nuke each other. He doesn't want to fight useless wars that just exterminate hundreds of thousands of people for no reason. In WW2, Russians were an ally of the Americans. Yeah, they were fighting the Germans too, the Nazis. They wanted to end the war. Germans were marching into Russia. Everybody wanted to end the war, and they finally did. But we were allies with them. They were fighting with us. And then Putin doesn't want a war neither. He doesn't want a war. He says he wants to take over this and that. Believe me, he couldn't care less. His big thing is he doesn't want NATO into Ukraine because then he's surrounded by NATO. That's what he's more worried about. Anyway, I just hope it's settled. There's peace. And Trump's on a peace march now. He says the Hamas, if they don't release the hostages by noon in Gaza on Saturday, all hell's going to break loose. They've been releasing them dribs and drabs, so he never went in there and kicked their ass. But now the gloves are going to be off. He says, I'm going in Saturday. That's it. He goes, the only thing that's going to stop me is if Israel doesn't want to. He goes, because they're going to be the guys that are working with us here. If they don't want to, they're against it. Well, then, they may supersede my thing. But as far as I'm concerned, noon on Saturday, if every single one of the hostages aren't released, all hell's going to break loose. And we're going to kill every single one of them. We're going in and we're going to kill every Hamas, everyone. So I would say that they should probably let them all go. And his concern is, you saw the condition of the ones they were letting go over the last few weeks, and they're terrible. They're in terrible condition, these people. And he's afraid the ones that are left, they're all going to be dead by the time they finally get in there. So he's not fooling around anymore. He's going in there and taking them out. Okay, time for my third sponsor, Hamilton Machine Company. And, they've been around since 1948, a staple of the industry in Niagara Falls. All these industries that we have left, they all need good machine shops to take care of them, to avoid breakdowns. They need to send their equipment out to get it fixed. And Hamilton Machine Shop has been one of the guys they've been using over the years since 1948. And every industry depends on a machine shop like this in their city. They need people who can do the job and do it right. But they're not just that, Hamel. They innovate. They create. They invent machines for all industry. They've invented machines for richest products in Fort Erie. For the agricultural hydroponics industry, they've invented harvesting equipment, and they send their inventions, their equipment all over the world. It's funny. We have this beautiful little industry right in Niagara Falls here, Hamilton Machine Company, and nobody really knows what they do. I was really amazed when Bob Benner The owner sat here on the show and talked about it. If you go back a couple weeks, you'll see the show. But they do a lot of stuff, but they're not just that. I mean, if you need something done around your house, if a keyway breaks, if this happens, if a piece of metal breaks and you need it welded and fixed or re-engineered, something milled, planed, it doesn't matter. They're going to take care of it. They can take care of it for you. Even down to customized gates for your backyard, they can fabricate them and make them. Hamel Machine Shop is the place to go. They got a place right over here on Bridge Street, Hauser's Welding. They bought that, and now that's called Hamel APS, which they do the agricultural products. And then they have the one on Kent Avenue, the machine shop that they have had for a long time. That's where you want to go. Take it from me. If you need anything done, get it there. The city takes their stuff there. Everybody takes their stuff there. And now, of course, I'm going to too. Now that I know what they do, you should too. Hamel Machine Shop. That's where you got to go. HamelMachine.ca. And I never did look up that website. You know, I get so busy. I apologize to Hamel. HamelMachine.com, HamelMachine.ca. Either one. You're going to get there. Google it. And you'll see the wonderful work they do with the wine industry and other industries in the region. Support our sponsors because they support the show. And we thank you very much for supporting Hamel Machine Shop, who supports the city, hires people, and is always looking for good people if you need a little jobberoonie. Okay, Trump's address to Congress, another big thing that happened on Tuesday night. Fantastic. Beautiful as he outlined the path he's going to take, along with the ills he has to correct from the former administration. Of course, the Democrats, the left-wing radicals, true colors came out. They're disgusting. Even the left-wing media like MSNBC were totally out of sorts with the Democrats' actions at this address to Congress. Al Green, the Democrat from Texas, he got up and started yelling at Trump until finally House Speaker Johnson called the sergeant at arms to Zelenskied him, throw him out, give him the Zelenskied treatment, and take your cane with you too. The Democrats are really despicable people. 13-year-old DJ Daniel, a boy with brain cancer, battling brain cancer, was at the address wearing a police tunic. He always wanted to be a cop. He loves the police. He always wanted to be a cop. Trump made him a special agent of the Secret Service right then and there. To a standing ovation from, of course, the Republicans and everybody else. And some people were even had tears in their eyes. Except the Democrats who were waving signs and booing Trump all night. I mean, they're seriously sick when they can't stand up for a 13-year-old kid with brain cancer and give him a hand because Trump made him a special agent. Pelosi was there. You know her, the Smirnoff franchisee who tore up Trump's State of the Union address right behind him on TV. She was in the crowd crying, and rightly so, since they may get indicted for insider trading and treason. Yeah, she's crying all right. The Justice Department, they're all going after her. No, she's under the microscope. She's under the microscope of the Justice Department and Doge to find out where she got her money. But despite the antics of the Democrats, the address laid out the next 4 years, and a lot of Americans are happy about that. America is back. Elon is doing his best to find fraud and abuse of taxpayer dollars. The border czar, Tom Homan, has basically stopped illegal immigration into the country. It's at an all-time low, and he's deporting thousands to boot. The U.S. is back on the right track. They're going to settle the wars. They're going to settle everything. And then you're going to see them start to go. And like I say, if we only had strong leaders in Canada who can deal with this properly, Canada would just be drugged right along with them without giving up any sovereignty or anything. But, you know, you have to believe that our leaders aren't very good. They're not very smart. Over to our idiotic PM and Premier, who are not very smart people, like I said. They're beating their chests while Canada rots. The PM is in cahoots with the EU, was promised to put boots on the ground to protect the cocaine cowboy. Get your kids ready for a draft if necessary. They said they're putting boots on the ground. He's in as thick as thieves, Trudeau. As for his tariffs, Trump has a reply. He said, "You had 25, we're going to up the ante to 50. How do you like those apples, Petite Patate?" In Ontario, well, Doug Ford, he's something else. This guy, I'm telling you, this guy's a blue conservative. No, he's a red conservative or a blue liberal, whatever you want to call it. He says he's going to turn the power off in 3 states. Well, Dougie, let me tell you something here. Between me and you, Dougie, this isn't your Muskoka cottage where you can leave on a Sunday night and just flick a switch to turn off all the lights before you go. The network of power is a giant web with circuits that direct power where it's needed. There's not one switch to just turn off Michigan. Duh. No. This network is a huge grid. When one network goes out, the other networks feed it. And there's all this power going through being sucked off. If you just start turning things off, it's going to blow everything up. There's going to be surges all over the place. It doesn't work like that. He thinks you can just go in there, let's go to Pickering, and we're just going to throw the main switch here. Homer Simpson, like. You know what? No, it doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. Somebody should explain that to him. He thinks he's just going to shut the power off. He's nuts. He's nuts. It's not that simple. And even if he did do it, the U.S. would just direct power to Michigan. I mean, they have power plants there too, Doug. You're not the only guy with a nuclear power plant or with power. Canada's not the only ones that produce electric power. They do too. They're just rerouted. I mean, they can reroute it anywhere. This guy's a pendejo. He really is. I'm telling you. Oh, big tough guy. Not good tough. We're going to take all the booze off the shelves and put it in a warehouse. That'll fix them. No, it won't. You're not going to sell any booze. And you've got $20 million worth of American wine and everything's going to go bad. Why not just put it on the shelves with a 25 or 30% markup? People of Ontario make money from it. You sell it off. You don't have to order more. Don't order any more if you don't want. Sell what you got. Put some taxpayer dollars in at escalated prices, by the way. Somebody wants a bottle of JD. They're going to pay $40. Now they're going to pay $50. Okay, big deal. They'll pay it. And if they do, that's more money for us, and get rid of this stuff. You can't send it back, Dougie. They're not going to take it back. Jack Daniels Distillery in Tennessee. Not taking back the crap you got sitting around all over Ontario. Fill those shelves up the price. Anybody who wants to buy it's going to pay more. We make more tax money. Thank you very much, and we get rid of this stock. That's a simple, smart way to do it, but we're not talking about smart here. Anyway, that's all I got for today. So every time you see the news, that's just more. It just makes you madder and madder. And where's our leaders? Where's our guys who know what they're doing? Yeah, I just said John Ringo Beam up there. He knows what he's doing. He'd be better off than these guys. Take Chris Regis and a couple other guys up there with you too. Get this done. Maybe Nathan Sauer. He seems to know a lot. Some of these guys who know what they're doing. Straighten this out. Jeez. Anyway, I'm out of here. Tomorrow's Finally Friday. We'll be talking more about all this. Believe me, when you look in the news, this is all you hear about. And I watch it all day, every day. I don't watch cartoons, Gomer Pyle. I don't watch any of that stuff. I watch news. I keep up on it and take notes while it's on. Yeah, that's what I do. That's my hobby. That's what I do. That's it. That's what I like doing. Sorry. Watching that, Montreal Canadiens play tonight. Watching the Habs. That's what I do. Then Gary Wilkins, too. He knows a lot. Gary Wilkins will go up there with him. Oh, yeah, these guys know. I'm telling you, they can't do any worse than Trudeau and Ford are doing. Seriously, folks. Seriously. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This has been Your City, Your Voice. Thank you so much for tuning in. Give us a like, thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. Leave comments. Comments are very important. It gives me stuff to talk about. But I do want to know your opinion on this stuff. I'm going to talk about some Facebook funnies tomorrow. I got some more Facebook funnies to talk about. We'll go through that and whatever's happening on a Friday. Getting ready for the weekend. Nice weekend, and then we look for Manic Monday next Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and it's another week in the neighborhood. That's it. Your City, Your Voice, 4680Q. Tune in every day at noon. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are Your City, Your Voice. Wednesday is Habsolutely, where we do all Habs, all shows. So if you're a Habs fan, that's the day you want to tune into that. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the snow. It's not going to be around long. It's not accumulating on the roads or anything. It's still good out there. And God bless you all. See you tomorrow on Finally Friday. I'm out. And you guys have a wonderful day.